So, first panel, pretty excited about it. Shout out to Bobby, CC, Ferbs, all the guys on the panel. I'm pretty excited about it. ABCA trip is crazy every year. Short sleep, long days, long nights, but like no better place to be in the mecca of baseball information. So excited to be going, excited to learn and try to pick up a nugget here or there like I do every year. And shout out to all the companies that are looking to be a part of the Cutternation brand.
Okay, Airbnb, sick view, nice little TV area, kitchen, fridge. We won't see it. Let's see what's in here. Okay, room, sick. I don't know if no hat was a good idea today, but it was a good hair today, so I had to do it. But it's all of, let me see, 32 degrees outside, so. Shout out DC. This is why I'm from Florida, moved to San Diego. No thanks in the cold weather.
While I wait for first meeting of ABCA, shout out Scott Stanley, 5-tool baseball, San Marcos, right down the road from us. Hilarious. That's how it works. You know, when you come to these things, the network is so funny because you're on the plane, next thing you know, you're with a guy you haven't seen in like a year, and you should probably link up. So we're going to head to breakfast right now. They're on their way here. I put out a tweet talking about most things. What are you most excited about for the ABCA in DC? And the least excited thing I was about the weather, because it's all of 25 degrees here. But the most exciting thing I am is to see all the buddies and everybody that I haven't seen since last year. I know a lot of us communicate throughout the year and talk about theory and development inside of that. So, you know, being around some of the best baseball minds in the country, dude, I'm so pumped. So appreciate it. It's good hair day, good lighting. Love you guys. Thanks for watching. Talk to you soon.
Stuff. That was the first time I've enjoyed being in the cage in years. And you always know it's a good session when there's chairs everywhere and 12 bats and golf clubs and med ball.
In San Diego, have anybody from 7 to professional, work with pitchers and hitters. On the pitching side, it's obviously the skill transfer of what I can do. The hitting side, I am the sparring partner to you. And that's my favorite part. I throw all 7 pitches so they can see it. My preference thing with him is what are you looking for and then what do you suck at? So like if you suck it down and in cutters and you're a lefty, and we know that based on this, I'm gonna throw them until you two figure it out. And I have a lot of guys that have kind of moved through the professional ranks that have solved problems because they knew their own data. Like
what I was seeing yesterday when I was pitching to him, right? Anything 4, 5, 6, 7, he was smashing, right? So you gotta understand, like if that ball's like middle away, he's still gonna get to that with the way he was hitting. But like when he was saying he was gonna attack him in and how he was gonna attack him, pretty much matched with what I saw. Okay. He's also like understanding it's not when I say torque on the front side, he has a front extension, so he does like his front leg. The difference is we're not trying to get across our body and get heavy into it. I'm actually trying to get the more vertical bouncy force and then turn around it as fast as I can, right? So it's not that we're not creating force on the front leg, it's how we're doing it. So what I would say to him was yesterday trying to get him more reps. So in this round, I'm going to get him more reps and say, hey, let's turn around that front leg as fast as we possibly can, right? Forget what you think about direction. Let's just turn around that front leg as fast as we can. And I had a PVC pipe in here. I don't have one of those, but we'll see if he can do it. And also give him that freedom to turn up instead of push, right?
Things that he should look for.
Stop. All right, so you guys can just see that the freedom, first one's okay, but the freedom of like, number one, are we clearing the front hip so the shoulders can fly through? Are we clearing the front hip? Okay. Number two, supinating, handsy, let it go. And you can see, like, yeah, the first one, like, his direction as a supinator, he's going to miss in topspin. Okay. Like, but that was the point of contact. Like, it's not the swing. And then you're seeing the next 3 swings as he starts to open up, give that freedom, it's not even close. So it's not the fact that if you're looking just for direction up the middle, he hit some of those first ones hard. But the way that he needs to move and balls he needs to get square to, definitely the second round is at least more free. Take what you want to see out of the results. We're talking about that freedom. Does he feel more free and less stuck? Okay, I said this yesterday, and Nate and I were talking about this. Like, everybody has their square. Okay? Everybody's square is different. How they get to the ball. You can be vertical, you can be horizontal. Grips, you can be axial, turn the barrel close like Trout, or you can be large like him, more of the fingers in the grip and turn it more out in the front. Okay, you can like more evenly loaded bats, you can like more end-loaded bats. This stuff is very, very deep, okay, but it all has to match what he wants to do.
Can you use that use the stride direction and more work? Guys, take a look at this because it has a lot to do with the stride direction and what he was doing.
Are you on? One of the cool things that we've been doing with this is me being the counter to the hitting side. So when we were talking about all this stuff, it's been cool because all of the holes that I told Travis about were the holes that he was dealing with. So, and I've never met him before today, so that was kind of cool.
All right, if he's torquing the front side, if he's across it, if he's pronating that front arm, it's going to be the ground ball on the push. Right, so we want those misses, okay, to have that barrel fly. So when he's saying yes, he's also associated. So when he turns, right, when he lands, which you can watch on video, when he's landing, like being associated with less separation, his hands, hips, and shoulders are going to look like they're turning together. All right, so if you could think of like a Vlad Guerrero Jr., right, he does his stride, and then as he's going forward, like everything's turning, right? Just because you have a passive ability to have hip shoulder separation doesn't mean that you're going to do that actively. So we're more worried about what your preference is, how you produce the move, okay? Not what happens in a passive assessment, what your body wants to do during the move.
Really excited to meet Matt Swope because of the game and the conversations we had. We were talking about some other stuff, so I can't wait to deep dive with him.
I would stop. So for me, I stopped them yesterday. Like we only did 4 rounds, 2 swings, 3 swings, get that dopamine hit. Like just because you find it, if it's 1 or 2 in a row, stop. Get the dopamine hit. Let them have it. Like let them go to bed thinking about what he did right. Taking the 5 swings because it's a round of 5 is not a thing. All right. In the game, they got to hit the pitch they get. So I would recommend throwing a ball around, but also getting them out the rounds as fast as possible. He's just executing that 2 and 3 times in a row. It looks way better than when he was torquing and came in. He has an idea what he's doing, and it's that quick.
First, you want me to? I've got a couple things. So yesterday after watching the slope for the low-purpose assessment, there were a few things that I noticed. I want to talk about one drill specifically that we do in the shop all the time that I felt like would be really good based on some of the results we've had. We saw the trap, and then I want to talk about something specifically that's not so getting him to be reckless to the full side, both these 3 on one makes the test. He's getting guys to put a backdrop field for getting shot like a rocket super now or a heavy harder. Right, seeing how quick they can get treated of it. Right, that's something that allows. So when we think about the destination, if you at the end, go ahead and think about everything. So that would be one thing. I don't know if it makes a whole lot of sense. Let's do it here. We're not in a full out. But that's something I would do. I know sure. I like to know where his barrel's getting to the end as quick as possible. Right? There's multiple ways to do it. You're more of a vertical back guy, which he's kind of tight a little bit because he was like too far to the side ball. Right? That guy was more of a 50-50 up and then down. Whereas you know. So a guy that's more of a vertical bat guy like Griffey, his back drop is going to be more up and then down to the ground behind him versus Camo, it's going to be flatter with the top to the ground. And it doesn't even necessarily have to get out of your hand. The first time we do it with the guy, we actually ask him to throw the bat to the ground to be aggressive. Right? So just that destination moving guy. So what's interesting with Trev is he's a rear motor shoulder, so he's a right thrower, but he's still a left motor shoulder. Right, so with him, he doesn't need to get as deep on the counter. An easy way that I like to think about understanding the motor shoulder piece of it is if you're a front motor shoulder guy, you're going to typically want to get deeper on your counter because you have more time to generate energy in the contact. He doesn't need to get deeper on his counter. Right? He's an associated mover, he's a tighter mover, it's not something he needs. But because he's a front motor shoulder, shorter on his backside, on his front side, he's going to want to carry it further. So to me, that was one of the first things I saw with him, and I would have done every time if we have him now, he's having one away. Right? Another thing I want to point out with him is kind of unique to his body type, and we find in our facility is guys that are tighter movers, bigger dude, barrel chested, tighter mover, not really long levers. Right? Most of us, and I'm guilty of this as well, right? Most of us our entire life, we've always told hitters to be early and slow, right? Well, there's a lot of people that have a lot of hitters that's not good for, right? If you're a tighter mover and you pull out slack quickly, right, a lot of times we have a ton of success with our guys. Instead of them being a yes, 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 no, we want them to think about being a no, 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 yes. Right? So sometimes we find, some ways we figure this out, because I don't know if you guys have ever done a drill where you start your hitter at the plate off the machine, right? You have to do something on the plate, like 10 or 15 there, and then they move a little bit closer to the machine, and then they move a little bit closer to the machine. Right? Those hitters that get better as they get closer to the machine, they don't need as much time. They have less slack in the system to pull out. So a really good way to feel that out is working closer and closer to the machine. If you don't have a ton of space, you're working out to the machine, you're trying to get a reference point. One of the things that I love that Coach Slope does over in Maryland is all of their machines have a timing sheet on it. Right? So instead of just having a timing sheet that's all the way black all the way up, what I like to do is I go out and get an electrical tape that has all the different colors, and I'll put a reference point with different lines. So red line, white line, yellow line.
His swing looked a little slacky. That's why he's great. That's why he can't adjust.
So now
they said you need to talk to Matt. The Maryland guy. They had the most hits in the whole NCAA and the second most home runs.
Really?
And it really seems like you. Yeah. I didn't know that they were going to. They had told me that they were doing an assessment with him in Maryland yesterday, and like actually doing all this shit. It was like it was supposed to be an hour, it was like 4 hours. I would have told them to push it back. And I told you to come. I didn't know they were going there to do that.
You guys, real quick.
Two guys sitting on the couch with the whole time. Owners.
Up until now, most of the assessments that you see done on players, what you see is they'll get a bunch of readouts of your swing speed, your launch angle, how much force and power you're producing, and then then they'll say things like, well, you're deficient in this area. You're deficient in back speed. You're deficient in exit velocity. But they don't tell the player deficient compared to who. Who are you comparing this guy to that he's deficient? When you do the assessment, so most of these people that do an assessment on a player, they do an assessment and say, you're deficient in this area, so we're going to give you these drills, you're going to do these deadlifts, and then we're going to come back in 3 weeks, and we're going to do the assessment again. And we're going to see if the numbers change. You can do that to infinity. What I like about motor preferences is that we spent 4 hours doing this assessment, but the motor preferences don't change. It's not like something you keep on going back. Once you find out what a guy's maximum coordination and balance is, you're not retesting it. Okay? So you spend the time doing the assessment at the beginning to give you a starting point, and then after that, it takes away so many things and thought from the hitter about being unsure about where it's set up. So, guys, I want to give real quick just a couple of things real quick. I want to let the witch doctor over here, who is my go-to guy when it comes to this type of stuff, just a minute or two to kind of give you some things that you see along the way.
Hey, how's it going? How you doing?
Nice to meet you.
Yeah, nice to meet you too. Yeah, Berto said he saw you. Did you like the good little camel?
It's good.
Like I said, I can't believe they gave me all the data and like told me to carve them up. I was like, are you sure?
Makes it easy.
Yeah, I know. Okay, sure.
I was wondering why. Actually, he has collapsed arms. So he has let's say, lazy feet. Could come from overweight. Could come from that shoe. Could come from that train.
I met Ferbs. So Ferbs got like the ringleader to it. I met him probably first year, like 6 years ago. And he was doing social media stuff for a little bit. I've always been doing social media stuff. And he introduced me to Bobby. Bobby might be one of the smartest hitting guys I've ever met on the tech stuff. And then Berto came into me a couple years later, and then I kind of all connected them. And we've just been always, I come say hi every year. And then this year they wanted to do a panel, and they were like, we want you to be the pitching guy. I was like, me? Why me? And they're like, you're not one of them. I was like, okay.
By the way, Bobby's presentation, this hitting was way better than last year.
Oh, for sure.
Last year it was like so much shit. Talking about the swing arc. It's like, I can't even understand. Yeah.
Double pendulum is kind of like his double pendulum is his phrase. That it makes sense when you see it, but like you can't even articulate what double pendulum means.
Yeah. This one, I can wait to tell him. I can't wait to tell him.
I give him some advice, and we're going to keep in touch with him for sure to give you a bit of shit for the spring training. You're going to be ready.
Oh my god.
But again, this is something that we observe in the USA, and we don't know why. Okay? In Europe, we have only 5% of the population who have fight. Here, with some teams, we have 90% of the players who have fight. And we don't know why. The issue is actually that it's not a natural or genetical shit. It bothers your preferences, and it can switch some of them, and actually it makes your performance only related on your energy. So when you're not tired, actually you can play well. As soon as you get tired because your feet are not properly stepped into the ground, you're going to lose performance. So it's very important that actually for you, the first thing
This guy hurts my brain. Have you seen what he does? Have you seen the lines thing? Last year he did a line thing. We made this guy look at lines, like he found 2 lines. So I'm going to look at these 2 lines, and then he moved his arms.
Yeah.
Motor preferences, the further we go back in our age, 6 years old, 5 years old, and what I
What's your
learned,
plan,
like if you took a 5-year-old kid
I was just
and
saying
said,
hip
put
hop
a ball
and
in
Bobby
the
and all
tee and
these
said,
guys. And they
swing
were
as hard as you can in case you hit it,
You down?
he's going to be as close to his natural motor
So
preferences
at some point, we got to do our round. I was planning on
Friday.
Because this thing closes at 6. Okay. Done. So tomorrow we can do it all day. I don't have any plans tomorrow. Okay. Tomorrow's like 10 to 5 in here.
Yeah, it's not yet.
Hey man, little Johnny, did your back elbow up? And so he's like, oh, okay, I got to listen to my coach, right? And when you keep on getting all these little cues from all these different coaches, think about how many different hitting guys have told you something, you lose your center, like what we were talking about.
He's getting ready to do the thing with the arms. That was trippy. Oh my god! So I was like, no.
Yeah.
I talk about playable flaws all the time, meaning like, I'm struggling with this pitch. Am I going to change everything I'm doing and like focus on my mechanics all day long, trying to be perfect? I just want to take that better and swing at other pitches. Like, what's better, like being a better competitor or like smashing your face against the wall to create a perfect swing? There's no thing. Every big leaguer, none of their hot zone is the entire strike zone. What they've learned is I have things that I can't hit well and I have things that I can hit well. And I'm going to be a better competitor versus I'm going to change my swing to make sure I can hit that pitch. It's not real. So perfect doesn't exist.
On my side, I feel like we're trying to chase perfect, but it's situational, like perfect timing to perfect release. You know, with the 1 degree difference to release the ball, if you miss by 1 degree, it's a ball. So like you got to be really fucking good within 1 degree just to locate, just to spin the ball the way it needs to.
So the other thing for me though is with a pitcher, you're the difference. You're in control.
Right.
You're in control.
Right.
We're not. And compared to like offense versus defense on football, the defense is always on like reaction side. Right. They're not in control.
Yeah.
That's why defensive linemen are in better shape than offensive linemen. That's why O-line can just go because they already know what they're going to do.
Right.
So you guys being in control changes what you're capable of doing.
Right. I agree.
With us, it's different.
Yeah. When he said finish fast, like you say that on everything. I want the bat to finish fast. I want the hand to finish fast. I want all the things to finish fast. So that was cool, listening to all those things.
Thank you guys.
You saw them. Did you see him do this last year with the arms thing? Did you see him do that?
Yeah, he was there. He was there for that.
Yeah, that was trippy.
It's interactive. A lot of the assessments that you see, it's just people saying, do this, do that, do this, do that. The player steers the ship. He's going to tell you if he feels more stable or more coordinated based on how he moves and what you're saying.
So it's an issue that the position is
so if just starting out messing around, you just want to tinker with some of the stuff that the guys you have. Put it back in your hand.
It's one of the things too that like Bobby said, it's like defining good.
Yeah.
Like there's so many micro variables in a swing. A half mile an hour difference in speed, 3 inches in location, this much in shape. Like what is perfect?
Right.
What are we doing?
Right.
So obviously there's massive flaws in the paths that can cause problems. There's massive flaws in the sequence that can cause problems. But once it gets it's right, it's more about, I talk more about getting your body in the right position and letting the swing do what the swing's going to do with 1,000 different variations of it, which is why this is so big. Where I coach the swing itself is more how we get ready for the swing. And then let the swing go. Right. And that's what they changed with him is putting him in a better position to swing from. Right. And then the swing automatically changes itself.
Right. So, like he organized better without trying to organize.
Right. Yeah. And that's what will happen. I spend the majority of my time working on players' self-organization after we put their body in a better position with better timing. And then the swing will start to actually turn itself up without them thinking about it. And I'll look at your angles, look at your spacing. Look at your direction, and it all cleaned itself up because it's something we did way before that. Right. It's less to think about. They're not thinking about the swing.
Right.
They're just making sure they get to their spot and it goes.
What do you see on the variation when you change from straight ball training to variations of shapes? Do you see them repeat the same ideas, or does things change?
The same stuff applies, and then I call it dynamic adjustability. Their athleticism and adjustability take over as the pitch changes.
I see the acceleration go down.
So, and that's the thing that
what for my guys, it's like go fast and trust it versus like trying to feel their way through. Just go.
It's like I can intentionally throw a slow breaking ball. You see a lot of kids that like change the swing speed to match the speed of the ball.
That's why we talk about timing. You can't be on time with the ball. You don't know. People try to be on time with the ball and decel. Like, it's not going to happen. The only thing I want to see is like decel when launch occurs. Don't decel once you're actually launched. So once you pull a trick. You know, so you just go.
I love it.
And a lot of that's fear. Right. It's fear-based.
Yeah.
I don't want to miss.
Don't miss. Don't roll over. Don't strike out. Coach, don't bitch me. Yeah.
This is how I would say a lot of flaws that we have are purely fear-based.
What's fun about him is like when we fight and we spar and we do all the things, like when the kids are around it, he will strike out or I will give up a home run. And I go, look, our personalities do not change one bit. Like we're still going to say fuck you, you're going to say fuck you back, and we're going to try it again. It's like that's how you play the game. You know, it doesn't matter. You know, I got a lot of kids that like they'll watch our videos and they're like, hey, like come in and face you. I'm like, are you sure? And they're like, yeah. I'm like, well, you better pack a lunch. Like, you're asking for the wrong thing, right? Like, do you want me to be nice and play the game that you play, or do you want me to be like it? Like, which one do you want?
So, what made you talk yourself last year was actually a voice of frustration against players that come out to the same area. It's like, you will always be able to find an excuse for why you failed.
Right.
The best hitters in the world have no excuses. It's like, the sun was glaring off the wall, or it was a shadow, or
A lefty.
or I'm thinking Derek. It's like, I don't care who's on the mound, what the conditions are. It doesn't matter. You go up there, I know I have the confidence I'm going to do it.
Right.
If you allow any type of excuse, my girlfriend was going to say, there's always, if you're actually going to go in there and compete, there's one reason you failed this meeting, and then you go, I'm going to beat it.
That's what's fun about Dave. It's like he's always had this like crazy dog in him, you know? And I'm always like, dude, you'll be a professional. He's like, you think so? I'm like, promise. You haven't stopped. You haven't stopped swinging. You won't stop swinging. It's literally the only, when you stop swinging, it doesn't work. You got to get out there and do it. Now he's got that little inflatable thing in his backyard. And he's doing something. I'm like, good for you, dude. Yeah. His little brother's pretty good too. I don't know if you ever worked with him.
Yeah, he came up with
Luca?
Yeah,
Luca.
doing something over and over and over after natural preferences.
How far are you
I'll
from
give you one
Helen?
quick example. You guys have all seen this on the mound. Have you guys ever seen a guy in the
shit.
delivery of a guy
My
pitching
family's
balls like
home.
this?
No,
Not
We go
everybody
there.
does it. Watch
I
my
mean,
feet.
my whole life.
literally, my mom lives, she's
No shit.
10 minutes.
Like down that mountain or whatever. In that area. Was it 67 or whatever? Like right on
So
that?
65 is the interstate, and then Highway 11 is
Yeah, 11. Yeah,
and
yeah, yeah.
119
What
is
you
the next
find
one.
out is
I'm
that
kind of
he's
off of 11.
That's what he's actually doing. You don't coach a player to do it, and you don't tell him not to do it. You don't tell him. If you see a pitcher, if you're training a pitcher, and he goes tap tap, do you tell him stop doing that?
No.
No. It's just what he does. However, if I take that same guy that likes to tap 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 and he likes to find his 4 feet, and I say, hey, guess what? I want you to keep your heel planted, stay over the rubber, corkscrew your heel into the ground, and get into your glute. What's going to happen is all he's going to do is try to do what I'm telling him to do. Then he's going to push off early and try to get to that ball of his foot, and he's going to push off down. So that's why you see the two types of pitchers that we always talk about. Tall and full, like the Garrett Cole guys. And then a lot of the Japanese, like Shohei guys, like the Yu Darvishes and all these guys, you'll see them go flexion, down, and then ride like this. So drop and drive.
Would you like?
Tall and full.
You want me to do it?
Go, do it. Let's go. Is this thing on? Check. Yeah, go ahead, Johnny.
The thing he's talking about is being able to float through your hip, right? So if I bounce on my foot.
Let me get this on. This is the pitching guy, so listen to him.
All right. So with motor preference, what we're trying to push through inside of this is the move down the mound on the tall and falls. When we go through that, we're able to lock out. I'm an aerial. I think he told me I'm an aerial inside of that. The interesting part is you can actually create energy inside of that bounce into the forefoot when you feel that. So the Darvish double pump would actually be 1, 2, flip, sit, and then ride. And as long as my knee stays bent, pressure stays into the ground, my forefoot stays down, then I can push off as I go. So the later that I can drive through the forefoot, the later I can spiral my hips, the later I can spiral my hips, the later my hand can go through the zone, the more accurate I can be through the kinetic chain. So as we rotate through the spiral of throwing,
That's what we're trying to activate.
Sick. Guys, also, when we talk about like long-term injury prevention, what I found out was that the things we were talking about before was supervision, guys that prefer
That wasn't that hard to do.
and guys that prefer to be in pronation. Right? What do we do when you throw a changeup? Pronate this way, right? When you're taking a kid and you have whether you're an aerial or terrestrial,